bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. May be seated. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and we are going to do something exciting and new. And that's, we're going to actually light the Shabbat candles. Last week, it had to happen before you all got here. And now that we changed the clocks, we're able to bring in Shabbat together. Let's bring in the Ruach of Shabbat and welcome this night of peace and rest and holiness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You may be seated. Tefillah begins on page 10 with Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh Avrahman, Yedid Nefesh Avrahman, Meshochav El Retzonach, Meshochav El Retzonach, Yarutz Avdach Kemo משתחווה מול הדרך, ידיד נפש ורחמן, ידיד נפש ורחמן, משוכב דך אל רצונך, משוכב דך אל רצונך, כי ערב לו ידידותך, מנופת צופי וכל טעם, ידיד נפש ורחמן, ידיד נפש ורחמן.
6 Psalms, one for each day of the week that we'll leave behind, beginning with the words of Psalm 95, which can be found on page 11. Lechu neranena l'Adonai.
Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena l'Adonai. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria l'tzur ishenu, nekad ma'afana betodah. Naria, naria l'tzur ishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena l'Adonai. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena l'Adonai. 40 שנה אקוד בדור ואומר עבדו אל לבבהם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ואפי אם יבון אל מנוחתי.
Page 13.
שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, יירם הים, יירם הים, יירם הים ומלואו, 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 ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל הצייר. לפני אדוני קיבה קיבה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק וימים אמונתו. אדוני מלך תגל הארץ, ישמחו עם רבים.
90 song for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. Bottom of page 16. Or zarua la tzaddik.
הודו לזכר קודשו, לזכר קודשו.
Turn now to page 18 for the last lines of Psalm 98, the psalm that speaks about how music can enhance our prayer and help us connect with God with the help of musical instruments, with the help of the piano, the clarinet, with our voices, with the voices of our soul. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור, בכל זמרה, page 18.
זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור,
בכל זמרה, בחצוצרות, בקול שופר. הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה, בהרות עמך וכף יחד, הרים ירננו לפני אדוני קיווה, לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במישרים. ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה, נהרות עמך וכף יחד, הרים ירננו. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down at God's holy mountain. Bottom of page 20, Romemu.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. We rise in body or spirit for Psalm 29, page 21, מזמור לדוד. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהר הקודש. כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרים, אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירקדם כמו עגל לבנון, וסריון כמו בן רעמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יכול איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו אומר כבוד, כולו אומר כבוד. Adonai למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום את עמו את עמו את עמו Seated, we turn to the central prayer of the Kabbalat Shabbat service, in which we welcome Shabbat into our hearts and into this night. Not an easy week. We're still following the events in the Middle East, of course, with bated breath, with prayers and hopes and dreams for a new day in that region. But then in the Midwest, a terrible attack on a synagogue. And some of you may know not only my history of being in Pittsburgh, but also I was a rabbi in Detroit, so that was the Reform Synagogue, just a few miles from the synagogue that I served for 6 years. So I know their clergy, I know that community. It's a very vibrant place, and a horrific attack. And what pains me, ironically, is that I'm pretty convinced that in a matter of weeks, the world is going to forget. That just no one died, building was damaged, yes, horrific attack, but because we don't have 11 victims like we had at Tree of Life, people will forget and it will fade away. But you know who won't forget? We won't forget. We won't forget. Especially those of us who are so connected with coming to shul, and this being a place of sanctuary for us, a place of community, a place of love, a place of holiness. And so I reached out this past week to my colleagues there, and I got a response, a hands praying emoji, which is more than I would have sent the day after Pittsburgh shooting. So they know that we're with them, and I know that just as I stand with them, you too stand in solidarity and concern and hope and prayer for a time in which we can come and gather together and just be Jewish, and just be together, just be a community. There's no justification, there's no rationalization. I know that for some of us, there's no forgiveness for people who take these matters into their own hands and take it out on the Jewish people wherever they find them. So we are going to commit to having a special Shabbat of solidarity and a Shabbat of showing up. Page 23, 24, and 25. Let's join together now as we welcome this Shabbat into this holy space. Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו, אל המיוחד אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד לשמו תפארת ואל תחילה.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
לך דודי לקראת בני שבת נקבלה, המקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קום יצא מתוך הפיכה, רב לך שם בימי קמח ויחמו על היחמה.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מהפרקו מלבשי בגדי תפארתך מעל יד בנשי, והתהלך מקרבה אל נפשי גהלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. דודי לקראת קהלה, בני פני שבת לקבלה, לא תבושי ולא תקהלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומטהמי בך יחסו, אני ימי ונבנה את העיר, אל תלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת לקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי בית אדוני, תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה בין הקהילה לך דודי. Seated. Shabbat is here, and as we welcome Shabbat, we're going to offer the psalm that was composed in honor of this holy day, a psalm that speaks about gratitude, because Shabbat is the day in which we count our blessings, the day in which we connect with God, not as the God to whom we ask, we demand, but the God to whom we thank. We take a deep breath. We try to direct our spiritual intentions towards gratitude. We try to think about those elements in our lives that make us feel grateful. As we offer these words that were composed by King David, it is good to thank you, Adonai, and to sing to your name most high. Page 27, Tov leodot l'Adonai.
Elyon
like the palm tree and grow mighty like the cedar of Lebanon. The last verses of the Sabbath Psalm, page 28. Tzadik ata mahar yifrach ke'erez balvanot yizgeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Od yenuhovon b'seva shenim v'rananim yiyo v'hagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri v'lo avlatabo. Page 29. Adonai malach geot lavesh, lavesh Adonai oz hitazar, aftikon tevel baltimot, aftikon tevel baltimot, nachon ki zachar me'az ve'olam atah. Naseu nerot Adonai, naseu nerot kolam, hiseu nerot dochyam, mikolot mayim rabim, adirim ishpereyam, adir bamarom Adonai, adir bamarom Adonai. עדותך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נאווה קודש, אדוני לאורך ימים, אדוני לאורך ימים, מקולות מים רבים, אדירים ישבריים. Adir b'marom Adonai. Mourner's Kaddish, for those among us in mourning, those observing your site, page 30. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam omeomaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom miramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the call to worship, the blessings of the Baruch Hu, page 39.
Adonai המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We continue privately to the bottom of 39b. You be seated. El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Imloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Harabim. Final blessing before the Shema, page 40. Ve'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olami. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך ואלו תטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Song of freedom, the song of redemption, song that our ancestors sang when they crossed the Red Sea, can be found on page 44. Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty?
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratei lo, osef ele, noratei lo, osef ele. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Moses and the children crossed the sea, sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratei lo, osef ele. ונאמר כי ועד אדוני את יעקב, ולא מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל. Prayer for peace, protection and shelter in the dark of night in Israel, in Detroit, in Aventura, all around the world. May God watch over us and protect us. Page 45, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lecha. שמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד
והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. To the sick and the suffering send your hope, to the forgotten and the lonely send your love. To the confused and the distressed, send your light. To the weary and the wronged, send renewed strength. To the pursuers of justice and wisdom and faith, to the seekers of peace, send unwavering resolve. To Jerusalem and its people, send tranquility and joy. To the world tonight, send the blessings of Shalom.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים אמן. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שומרך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שומרך, ברוך אתה סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל על ירושלים, על ירושלים ועל ירושלים אמן.
Rise as we offer 3 verses from this week's Torah portion. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat. The people Israel shall observe Shabbat, maintaining it as an everlasting covenant throughout all generations. Page 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדורותם ברית טובה. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Middle of page 46. When the cantor's away, the rabbis will play. That's just how it works. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב יאמרו, אמן. יהי שמירה ומבורך, לעולם לעולם לעולמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, יתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתהלל, ויתהלל שמי קדושה, בריחו לעילה מכובד חדה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירה בעלמה ואמרו Amen. For the private Amidah, page 47, 6 Hebrew words asking God to help us to pray. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. O Lord, open up our lips so that our mouths may speak your praise. Top of 47. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך יררי רי רי יררי רי רי יררי רי Yararai, rai, rai, yararai, rai, rai, yararai, rai, rai, yararai, rai, rai. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Shalom Aleinu Al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu al Kol Yisrael. Page 53. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאיו, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Bo Shabbat Mikom Malachto Asher Bara Elohim La'asot. May be seated. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu V'Elokei Avotenu V'Imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון קונה שמיים בארץ. כן אבות בדברו, בחיים מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו. כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מאור הברכות. אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שבי, ומניח בקדושה לעמד ושני עונג, זכר למעשה בראשית. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. 4 lines from the top of page 54. V'taher libeinu. לעובדך באמת, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך, 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 לעובדך באמת, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך, 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 לעובדך באמת, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך, 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 לעובדך באמת.
ונחיל אדוני אלוהינו ורצון שבת קודשך וינוחו בישראל מקדשי שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Middle of 54. יתגדל ויגדל שמי רבה, ויעמד דברך חירותי ומליך מלכותי, וחייכון ומלכון וחינכו בית ישראל, בהגלה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולמי עולמיה, יתברך, יתברך, כפי שתברך ויתברך ודבר מנסה, ויתברך ולבלל שמי לקודשה, בריחו לעולם וגברך אדם ושורתה, תושבך ונחמתה, אדם רם בימה ויאמרו Tika bells on Vaton, the Hoyts Rail, Kadama Vundi Vishmai Immeru, Ishtam Rabbi Vishmai Vachanel Koishav Immeru, Ose Shalom Biromav, Huyase Shalom, Aleinu Bialko Yisrael, Bialko Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imeru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You know, sometimes we pride ourselves of being a synagogue where the kids can make as much noise as they want. We love it, and you know, maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, but both Rabbi Berkon and myself, we don't have problem when there's a lot of noise at the synagogue. But the synagogue where I grew up had a rabbi that was outstanding in many aspects, and I loved him, but he didn't like children making noises at the synagogue. And when it was time for his sermon, he would deliver his main sermon every Friday evening. The custom is to ask the children to leave. That was the custom in the synagogue where I grew up. At the moment of sermon, children had to leave so that they wouldn't make noise and their parents could pay attention to the sermon. Now, the interesting thing is that if we ask our children to leave the sanctuary while we preach, there would be even more noise because they make noise in the hallways, in the corridors, and that's even more disturbing. The reason why that didn't bother my rabbi is because when we would leave the synagogue during the sermon, we would go to a candy store that was in the corner, on the same street of the synagogue, in the corner of the street. So we would spend 15 to 20 minutes eating candy, and then we would go back with our glucose high to the sanctuary. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want to describe you how growing up in a synagogue in Buenos Aires was until 34 years ago. Because 34 years ago, exactly this coming week, which was the year in which I was preparing for my bar mitzvah, 1992, the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires was bombed. 29 people were killed, 242 people were injured, and days after that terrorist attack, Hezbollah claimed responsibility for it. And that was the end of going to the candy store at the corner of the synagogue, because right after that terrorist attack, my synagogue and all synagogues in town decided to put guards at the entrance of the synagogues, decided to put heavy bulletproof doors in their gates, decided to put walls of concrete in front of the synagogues in a way that if you have ever been to Buenos Aires, you can know where there is a Jewish institution, not because of the Star of David or the Ten Commandments, but because of the strong security apparatus that protects every single Jewish organization there. And I know that many of you didn't grow up with those security measures in your synagogues and your Jewish organizations, and it wasn't until maybe your 50s, your 60s, your 70s that you started seeing what you can see when you come to a synagogue like ATJC. In some way, I feel, as one of my dear colleagues, Rabbi Kulok, beautifully put it in a sermon years ago, I feel that I come from the future. I feel that I have seen what we are seeing now 35 years ago. There were so many words that I learned that week. I was a 12-year-old kid, and for the first time in my life, I heard words like terrorist attack, rescue teams looking for human remains, dogs, people coming from the Mossad, from Israel, trying to help recover the bodies of those who were killed. Words like Hezbollah or like Iran were heard for the first time in my life in those days. Until then, synagogues were an open space, just like they are described in this week's Parsha. This week's Parsha, Parshat Vayakel Pekudei, describes the establishment of the first place of worship ever in the history of the Jewish people. And you know what it was? It was a tent. Not even, to highlight that it didn't have gates or fences or guards. It didn't even have walls. That's how Jewish worship was intended to be when God prescribed the establishment of the first house of worship ever. A place that was open to all sides. No one was concerned. You know what was the only thing that was actually somehow protected? Not the building, not the people inside, the Torah. The Torah was the only thing that was put inside an ark to make sure that it doesn't get damaged. It is to this day that some traditions within Judaism have the custom of locking the ark. I don't know if you have ever been to a synagogue. There are synagogues in which there's a person, the gabbai or the shamash, that has the responsibility of carrying the key to open the ark every time we're going to read from the Torah. Because the only thing that our ancestors thought of protecting in spaces of worship was a holy book that could get damaged, could get stolen. It's something of value. Historically, Jews didn't think that synagogues could be an unsafe place. At least not when the first house of worship was prescribed and established. And not even when I was 11 years old. And during the sermon of my rabbi, who didn't want kids running around, I could enter, come and go to the candy store. Lots of kids. This was a very popular synagogue. Dozens of kids standing on the streets, going, coming, no guards, no cameras, no fences, no metal detectors, no any security measure whatsoever. You know what it looked like? Looked like a church. Looked like a mosque. Because we are the only people in this country that need to spend, according to New York Times this morning, $765 million the Jewish community in America spends in protecting our buildings and our lives. And even though usually I tend not to believe what the New York Times says, this time they got it right. Because I checked the numbers of our synagogue. We spend $500,000 a year in protecting our building, our children, our students, our lives. $500,000 that could be spent in teachers, in books, in programs, in having, a mikvah. That's what we spend in the mikvah, by the way. Having a mikvah, having more prayer books, having more Torah scrolls, you name it. We could be taking kids to trips to New York like all our bar mitzvah kids are right now, but for free. We could be sponsoring how many kids to March of the Living or to trips to Israel. And instead of that, American Jewry is spending almost $1 billion in something that any other faith doesn't have to worry about. What we saw yesterday in Detroit looked very similar, but a little bit luckier than what I saw in 1992 and then again in 1994 in Argentina. It was the same MO, a car ramming into a Jewish building. The difference, in Argentina, the car was loaded with explosives. It didn't happen yet in America. It didn't happen yet because we are taking measures to avoid it, not because there are no people who would like to see that happen. When the AMIA building in Argentina was bombed in 1994, a long trial was put together by the Jewish community, and eventually it made it to important courts of law in Argentina, and very few people were convicted. One of them was elected the general commander of the Revolutionary Guard in Iran 2 weeks ago when his superior got killed. He's next in line. But Ahmed Bahidi has a red alert order in Interpol because he has been convicted as the person responsible for killing 85 people with a car that rammed into a Jewish building. It's hard to believe that there are still people in this country questioning and arguing whether we should cut the head of the serpent, whether we should engage in a war that some believe is far away from us. It is not far away from us. We see it happening here. What we saw yesterday, it's part of that same war, in the sense that there are people who don't want to see synagogues where the kids can run around freely. There are people where in our country who believe that we should not be fighting a war against evil, against terror, a war that has been going on for 45 years. Do not get it wrong. This war is not new. We just decided to act now. And as I was sharing with Rabbi Berkon and with another person a few hours ago, we decided to act now because we, as a people, know the consequences of not acting. Many of us have been to Poland, and the inevitable question when you walk the rail trucks that go to Auschwitz is why America didn't bomb those trucks. Why? Why the British? Why any other country didn't put an end when they could? I think that what we are seeing now is a group of leaders with the decision and determination to put an end to something that could be worse. Because the car yesterday was not loaded with explosives. But we've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, 1992, 1994. Because those ballistic missiles don't have nuclear power yet. But they are falling in our homeland. A homeland that, by the way, just like our synagogues, has to be protected in a way that no other country is protected. You saw what happened at other countries in the Middle East, in the Gulf, in the past couple of days. We are not seeing hundreds or thousands of deaths in Israel because of the Arrow, the Iron Dome, the IDF, you name it. But if we didn't have the security measures that we have, we would be witnessing a catastrophic tragedy. And I ask the same question, why Israel needs to spend the amount of money that it spends in its defense instead of spending it in education, in finance, in other things. Imagine what Israel would be as a startup nation if it didn't have to spend what it's spending in defense. If they can achieve what they can achieve without spending it, I cannot even imagine what Israel would be. Tomorrow we end the reading of the book of Exodus. And I want to say that growing up in the days in which I was going to the candy store in the middle of the sermon, going to shul was an act of faith. I feel sometimes that coming to shul in 2026 in America is an act of courage and bravery. But when we end the book of Exodus, we are going to say, as we say when we end every book of the Torah, Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek. And I want to end my message in that spirit. Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek means let us be strong and strengthen ourselves. I hope and pray that we continue having the courage to show up, that coming to synagogue never feels threatening enough for us to decide that the best way to protect our lives is to stay home. Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek. Let us be strong, let us strengthen one another, let us continue to show up, to fight the fight, to protect ourselves, and to hope that one day we will go back to the days in which kids can go on the streets of the synagogues to the candy store during the rabbi's sermon. Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to rise as we open the ark and welcome the children who have come back from the candy store. Actually, the Bima at ATJC is the candy store. We're going to open the ark and bless them. Like half of our kids are in New York with Cantor Roger. Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe.
May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe.
Yisimech Elohim Kesara Rivka Rachel Leah.
May God bless you like the matriarchs of Israel, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God bless you and protect you. May God show you kindness and be gracious to you. May God bless you with shalom, with peace. Amen.
All right, Yeladim, I invite you to give the Torah scrolls a kiss. If you lost your yarmulke running around, we have extras. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
We remain standing, page 56, Aleinu Leshabeach.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית שלא עשה לגויי הרצון ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם
וגאול עלינו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב קרוב השמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת עינו עלינו. כי המלכות שלך היא וללמד תמלוך וכבוד ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
standing as we turn to the back of our Shabbat program, not the actual back cover, but the second to last page, as we offer this additional blessing on behalf of the Israel Defense Forces, the IDF. Mi sheberach avoteinu Abraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, hu yevarech et chayalei tzva hagana l'Yisrael, hu yevarech et chayalei tzva hagana מצרים ומן הים הגדול עד לבוא הערבה ביבשה
Those of us in mourning and those observing a yard remain standing for Mourner's Kaddish. The rest of us may be seated. This coming week, we remember the following yard with love: Frida Bach, Beatrice Bassler, Sarah Betzo, Barry Bursin, Dorothy Bushell, Nat Cohn, Jean Korn, Gertrude Dreyfus, Faye Eckhaus, Martin Feuerman, Elena Fogel, Sarah Ganitsky, Hillel Goldratt, Frida Green, Arlene Gutenberg, Simon Kravik, Lynn Lefkovich, Samuel Longwill, Susan Maya, Selwyn Medin, Helena Nath, Ron Robbins, Minnie Schaller, Helen Schmuger, Paula Shapiro, Irving Shanekraut Snow, and Hilary Zaid. We also remember, as I mentioned, this coming week, March 17th, the victims of the bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires. We remember the fallen soldiers of the IDF. We remember the victims of terrorism in Israel on October 7th and ever since then. And we remember all those who suffered in the attacks in the past week, including 4 American soldiers who perished defending freedom and life. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 58. Itgadal ve'itgadash shemei Rabba. Ve'alma divra chir'ute ve'yamlich malchute. B'chai yechon u'v'yom eichon u'b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'b'zman kariv ve'imru amen. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיא. בחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. You may be seated briefly. We want to call your attention to the Shabbat program. Lots of things happening at ATJC in the coming days. Tomorrow morning, our dear member Bob Weber will be our guest speaker on behalf of South Florida Hatzalah. Not to be confused with United Hatzalah. We feature them in many opportunities, but South Florida Hatzalah is saving lives here in our neighborhood, in our backyard. Is actually the organization that we call every time that we have an emergency here at ATJC. Many of you may remember a few months ago, one of our dear members had a health situation during services, and it took less than 2 minutes to South Florida Hatzalah to come here to his aid. So we are going to be listening about the many wonderful things that South Florida Hatzalah does in the community and how we can help and support them. So that's tomorrow at 9:15. We have a game day in Spanish. We are going to be playing Truco and Buraco, so if you don't know what that is, then it's not for you. But we are going to be playing that this coming Tuesday at 6:30 p.m., and that's because we are raising money to support an IDF base. We are organizing a volunteering trip with members of our synagogue, God willing, and if everything is okay, we will be celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut in Israel, and we want to make sure that we provide a wonderful barbecue in celebration of Israel's Independence Day to the soldiers. So we're raising money for that. Even if you don't play those games but you want to contribute, you can buy tickets for a raffle. You can talk to Jessica, who is seated here, not on Shabbat. You're not going to buy them on Shabbat, but you can connect with her and then you will hear more details. Yeah, they can pledge, but they cannot keep physical money, but you can get her Zelle and she'll make it happen, whatever. She doesn't have Zelle. We talked about that. I want to also highlight something that is going to be happening this coming Wednesday, because Carl Pompian is putting a lot of effort in organizing the Art of Fashion, which is a special edition of our Artist Workshop program, in which we are going to be showcasing different clothing and fashion items in partnership with a store here called Statements, and people will have the opportunity also of purchasing some items with a discount, right? That's what I was told. So it's going to be a wonderful afternoon. We're going to be offering some refreshments, and it's free to the community, especially geared towards seniors, but open to all. You define when you decide to start calling yourself a senior, but if you believe that you want to come to this program on a Wednesday afternoon, well, then it is for you. So if you want more details, you can talk to Carl, or also if you want to help the Artist Studio Workshop in any way, if you have ideas like this one, if you want to volunteer, please talk to Carl about this wonderful program. And the other thing to highlight is that Passover is approaching. Actually, tomorrow we are going to announce the beginning of the month of Nisan, which means we are going to be, this coming Thursday, we are going to be 2 weeks away from Pesach. It's time to start cleaning, it's time to start shopping, but also it's time to start making programs. So if you want to shop less and to clean less and to cook even less, you can spend the first night of Passover here at ATJC, at the center that will be led by Rabbi Berkun. Registration is already open. There's a link online, and if you prefer, you can also call the office. Make sure you bring friends, you bring family, and you tell the office whom do you want to be seated with. That's on Wednesday, April 1st at 6 p.m. That same morning, we are going to conclude a Talmudic tractate so that we observe the tradition of Siyum in the eve of Passover in observance of the fast of the firstborn. And there's much more happening. Just make sure you take the Shabbat program home. We already have 20 people registered for our trip to Morocco, right? So that means it's happening. I'm actually looking for flights this coming week, but we still have room in the bus. So if you're interested on traveling to Morocco with us, that's going to be in November. You can talk to Ricky. You want to come?
But you told me I have to
Someone
stay here
needs to
and
stay
work.
here.
I mean,
someone needs to stay here.
But you said if you're interested, so.
Next year, where I'm thinking a more interesting destination. But you can come. Talk to Ricky if you want to join us in Morocco. The spots are limited, so we're already at 20. Once we fill, I believe, 35, the bus is full. So we want to make sure everyone knows that registration is still open, and I believe still at a discount for 2 more weeks. The rest of the information is here in the Shabbat program, as well as the form to sell your chametz. If you observe that tradition of selling the chametz before Passover, you can use the document here, or you can go online and click on the link for that purpose. We are going to conclude our tefillah singing the national anthem of the Jewish people, Hatikva. Hatikva is on page 448. Kiddush is, I believe, in the social hall. Can someone check? Just check if Kiddush is ready there.
Adriano says yes. We wish a happy birthday
Kiddush
to
is in the social
Adriano.
hall. Happy birthday, Adriano, who turned 50 yesterday.
I wasn't going to tell him.
You can come to the seniors program.
Turn to the person beside you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. If you know them and love them, ask if you can give a hug and a kiss. We'll see you at Kaddish in whichever room we find it. It'll be the one with the food inside. Shabbat Shalom.